Hey, beautiful people. How are we doing? I am Anitra N. Lawson, storyteller, producer, educator, content creator. He is Dr. Andre Evans.
What's going on, savage people?
He is a brother. He is a father. He is a writer. He is a pest. I have to keep thinking of the things, right? And we are the Savage Siblings. This is the Savage Siblings podcast, where we are brutally honest, relentlessly transparent, and unapologetically authentic. So glad you guys are here for another episode. We always kick it off with a check-in. So, bro, how you doing? Checking in with you.
I am doing well. Just kind of going over conversation we had earlier this week or late last week. I can't remember. Where we were just kind of talking about everything we've got going on with S2 MediaWorks and how things are unfolding. But not just that, but then I was talking a lot about just what's going on with my personal ministry, with the church, just life, and we were both kind of reflecting on that. I remember in our conversation, it was like things were feeling heavy, like things were, where's the money coming from? Where's the all this stuff, all these things. And one of the things I kind of realized in that moment, or at least it feels like in that moment, is like that the weight of promise is oftentimes the heaviest when we're closest to the breakthrough of the promise, right? Because you can see the stuff moving, but now the big challenges are coming, because I really do feel like a lot of times when the magnitude of what you're working towards starts to get real, then there's also the magnitude of the responsibility you have to see it through to its kind of success. And so things start breaking down, questions start needing to be answered, emotions start overflowing, like all these things, right? But here's the thing, when you're answering those questions, then those questions no longer exist. When the things start breaking down and you clear out what's broken and you start to look to build up things better, or you clear out the emotions that are kind of weighing you heavy, then you've got space. And I'm wondering sometimes, what if it's heaviest at that moment, so God can get you to clear out all the negative thoughts and emotions, because he's making room for what the breakthroughs got to occupy. And I think some of the moments where it's hardest for us in life, I believe sometimes it's this understanding that you got to clear out some stuff to make room for what's coming. It reminds me of like when a mother's about to give birth and they do what's called nesting.
Yep.
And you start getting rid of stuff, and then you start putting stuff in, and the stuff you got rid of, you're getting rid of it because it doesn't speak to the life of what you're about to bring
to the future.
To the future, right? So you start bringing in stuff that's suited directly for the future. So I think there's sometimes where we definitely go through this mental, this emotional nesting. And that's oftentimes an indicator that we're closest to our breakthrough, or our whatever it is, our passion coming to fruition. We're closest to whatever has been revealed in our spirit, revealed in our hopes and dreams, about to become our reality. We start that nesting process. So I feel like that's what I've been doing past week and a half, is just that proverbial nesting, where I'm like, all right, I got to be laser focused, because I don't need anything distracting me. You know what I mean? I want to stay in my lane, because what I don't need is someone causing me to exit before my exit, right? I'm doing so much right now of being so focused on exactly what it is I know I'm supposed to be doing, because it's moving, opportunities are being taken, chances are being taken, risks are being taken. And so I have got to be laser focused right now, because just the slightest distraction makes the risk not worth it. The opportunity fail. And so I'm doing my best to focus. And I do believe then, for me, because I'm a person of faith, for me it's God saying, no, you're going through this because you're making room for the breakthrough. You're making room.
It's greater.
One of the hardest things to do is to press through the difficulty because destiny's coming through the hardship of the
Yeah.
pressing. Destiny doesn't come when things are easy.
Nope.
Destiny comes through the pressing of the hardship, not the ease. Nothing good comes that's easy. And I realized I was talking about destiny, but like nothing comes good that's easy. Nothing. Money that comes easy ain't good for you. Women that are easy ain't good for you. Men that are good for you that are easy. Rather, men that are easy ain't good for you. Nothing that comes easy is necessarily good for you. There's a difference I found then between favor and easy. Because there's a whole lot of folk walking around talking about, oh man, that was easy. That was easy.
No, that was favor.
Let's see, right. Right. That was favor. That's why you got that.
That's why you still standing.
That's why you still right. That's how you made it through unscathed. That wasn't easy. You had the favor of the Lord upon you. Because there's a difference between easy and favor. But that's me, right? That's what's been for me. Because of that's final statement I'll say. I always want to both identify and take on the favor. Yeah. I never want to identify and take on the easy.
Nope.
Because there's a reason why it was easy. So anyways, that's
maturity.
Right. I'm not going to tell you how I learned that. Right. That's not this episode. That's not this episode. That's an episode of, I wish I never had. If I never had ever. That's that episode. So, anyways, that's been me. What's been going on with you? Right. That's the Carl Thomas episode.
Oh God, that is so funny.
What's been going on?
It sounds like we've had similar weeks. I think for me, I labeled this week as a shots fired week, where it's but and a good thing, God is always in the midst. But with that whole shots fired, where it feels like there's a lot of things have been coming at me. Every time I would hear God say, "Wait, wait, just keep waiting," and I'd be like, but I don't know. Have you ever seen those war movies where they have to get behind the barricade or the dugout, and what they learn to do, bro, is wait until the enemy empties their rounds and then you shoot, right? I said, Lord, there's a reason why you didn't ever send me to real war. I said, because I probably end up killing everybody, my side and their side, because I don't know how to wait. I'm gonna just be like, like everybody's getting these bullets. And so this whole week has been God saying, wait, now go, wait, now shoot, right? Wait, now run, right? If it's up to me, I'm probably gonna be down in the first 2 minutes because I'm just out there letting it go. So it's been an interesting week. I've had to learn the art of duck and cover, but what I love about God is He's just been like, wait, I'm gonna tell you what to do. And so even though some of it has been unpleasant or uncomfortable, when I surrender to that waiting and knowing when to move based on what He says, it works out. So it sounds like we've been in similar places, but I've been trying to shoot them all. I've been trying to take them out. He's like, wait.
Is that right?
They're reloading.
Your
do it now.
scenario reminds me of that scene in Harlem Nights where Arsenio Hall and his boys are shooting at Eddie. Quick! I'm gonna kill you quick! And they all shooting in that one little dude with that little gun. Pow, pow! And they all shoot again. But see, if you don't wait, you'd have got clipped by the little pow, pow. Like, you gotta wait. You gotta wait till they all run out of ammo. But you're so right. You're so right because, that shots fired scenario, absolutely, because, what I have found in that type of situation or that type of scenario is oftentimes when I wait and I just make sure I deal with all of the adversity, deal with all the questions, deal with I wait, then what I've actually found is if I don't move until all the questions are asked, if I don't move until all the issues are out, then I realize that then once I start to handle them all, the adversity ain't got nothing left.
Yeah, so good.
Does that make sense?
Enemies
like
worn
they ain't got
out.
nothing left.
You still got
I'm not
energy
giving
to
you,
fight.
All right, exactly. It's so for you it's the shots fired. For me it's the rope-a-dope where Muhammad Ali's just letting George Foreman wail on him. Just wail. But and then he starts talking. You got more. You got.
He's wearing him down.
And then you're too tired. I love it. I love it when adversity's too tired to fight me anymore. Then anointing and favor take over, and I'm like, okay, I took your best shot.
Yep.
I took your best shot.
Yep.
So yeah.
I love
So
that.
I get it. I get it.
I love that. All right. Well, we're going to jump into our sound off segment.
Sound off segment. Sound off.
I'll kick it to you,
No
bro.
doubt. No doubt. So this episode we're entitling "Not Gonna Be Able to Do It." Yeah. Because what we're looking at is what's the benefit of working hard versus why is easy so appealing.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we look at the hard things, we say, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I've learned that when I look at the easy things, I'm not going to be able to do it. And so, yeah, that's why the title of this particular episode is Not Going to Be Able to Do It. And we start the notion of, one of the reasons why we call it savage siblings is there's this learning process of doing things the easy way versus the hard way, or what I might even say the easy way versus the right way that you get growing up with the sibling in the household. And your first lesson there is you have to join in the share of the workload of the family, keeping the house, and you find really that, well, at least from a child's perspective, the children are the slave laborers. The parents don't do anything. Right? They just leave the house at 9 and come back at 6 or 7 while we got to do everything else. We got to do everything for the house.
That's why I had you.
Right. If you knew the amount of times I have said to Corey Corinne, hey, I had you for this reason.
Right.
And really, to give you the remote? Yes. To pour you some water? Yes. Yes, I had you for this reason, right? Absolutely, and I know for them, I know what it feels like for them, but I'm teaching them life lessons.
Clearly,
I'm teaching them life lessons.
100%.
That's what I'm teaching them. So I know, but as a kid, it feels like forced participation, right?
Yeah,
because the parents are told, or they have this notion that it's important to instill these values and this work ethic and all this in their children. And so it starts with chores. Like, I need you to do these chores. And as a child, you're like, I don't understand. You've been doing this all your life before you had me. Like, why? Like, I don't understand. Why am I doing it all now?
Right.
But the issue here, and this is where we get up, this is why I say, this is where we learn whether to do things easy or to do things right. But we'll say easy or hard, but to me, hard is the right way to do it.
Right.
Because the parent says do the chores, but I'm going to tell you, I'm being honest here. My dad said, your job, Andre, is to take out the trash. Now, there's two parts to this that I want to talk about. The first part is he said, you're going to take out the trash. And then he never gave me a modeling example.
Right.
I've never seen my dad take out the trash. Not once.
Right.
He simply said, your job is to take out trash.
Right.
Okay? Didn't teach me the steps to taking out the trash. Just said take out the trash. So right there now, I've got this example where I can say, okay, there's an easy way and there's a hard way. Now, the easy way in my mind is let it pile up and wait till mom and dad say something.
Right.
That's the easy way in my mind because I don't want to do it. But that ends up being the wrong way because my dad would say, why'd you let this trash pile up? See, at that moment, then, it's no longer easy because it didn't matter what I was doing. I had better stop and take that trash out.
Yep.
What I perceived as the hard way, which is actually the right way, is listen, don't let it overflow when it's ready to be tied up. When you have a break in what you're doing, like you finna go outside and play, just take the trash out. I perceive that as the hard way,
right?
When it's the right way, and it's the way that didn't get my butt beat. It's the way that didn't get me popped across the head. It's the way that didn't get me having to explain to my friends why I can't come outside. Andre, come out here and tell your friends why you can't come outside. Y'all, I can't come outside because I didn't take out the trash. Now they're looking at me like, why didn't you take out the trash?
We would have took it out for you.
We can't play football and we can't play this game in the backyard that's going to put us in the emergency room because you didn't take out the trash. And so it's like, you just made life difficult trying to do things the easy way. That's the first thing it taught me. But here's the other thing. Dad wasn't just teaching me to do chores rather. He was teaching me an ethic in life.
Yes, exactly.
Right? The ethic in life is you got to take care of what you're blessed with, right? You got to take care of the opportunities that you get that are blessing. You can't just let trash pile up because it devalues. It takes away from the value. It takes away from the credibility of the blessing.
Yes.
So an ethic has to say, take care of what you're blessed with. The hard or the right way would have been to do it. The easy way that I thought was, well, how come Nikki can't take out the trash?
Right.
So the first one is I let the trash pile up, wait till mom or dad say something. I thought that was easy. Now the next one is well, why can't Nikki do it?
Right.
She's here. And that also ended up being the wrong thing because now dad is saying, no, Nikki has different chores.
Yes.
Don't you question me again. So it's not that she's not pulling her weight. She just has a different weight to pull. Now, the problem with the second one is Dad didn't explain it too well.
Right.
Dad
Because I said so.
Right. Dad was like, because I said so. But no. Let me tell you what Dad said to me. What Dad said to me, and this is here where you get the second opportunity to do things the easy way or the hard way, depending on how you take the message that's given to you in the moment. Dad says, Nikki has other chores.
Right.
I need you to take out the trash. Watch this, what Dad said to me one time. He said, because I don't ever want Nikki to be out there by herself where something can happen to her.
Right.
Now me, my dumb ignorant self, okay, cool, no problem. Wait a minute. But it's okay for me to be out there by myself? Wait a minute. So something can happen? Wait a minute. So there's a danger in taking out the trash that you're okay. If I listen, he turned into Abraham in the Bible. So I'm the sacrifice.
Yes.
I'm the sacrifice. Right. So
there's
I
no ram.
Die. I'm okay, right. There better not be a ram in the trash can.
Right.
That's a whole nother issue. Like, wait a minute. It's okay that I'm putting myself in danger.
Right.
But what that is also what that also taught me then is the easy route sometimes that we take is because we think that we can get through unscathed and it's going to be okay. But that doesn't mean it's the right choice. Yes, sometimes the hard decision means that you put yourself at risk,
Right.
but that doesn't mean it's the wrong decision, right? So when we're looking at, what's the appeal of easy, sometimes, the appeal of easy, we feel like it's safe. We feel like, it's less work. We feel like, all of these things that very well may be true, but that doesn't make it the right decision. It doesn't build ethic. It doesn't build value in the choice you're making. And so sometimes then making the hard choice is actually better because it's the right choice. There's more value in it. There's more longevity. There's more endurance. There's definitely more ethic. And it's again, it's somewhere along those lines, I had to look at the shortcuts in my ethic and say no more easy stops, no more shortcuts, right? And so what I actually was defining as hard is actually a desire that I had to avoid the sacrifice it takes for greatness. Wow. Right? Anything worth having is worth working for.
Yes.
You don't have to make sacrifice in getting. I remember there was a time where I spent all day playing outside, because y'all young people, there was a time
That's what we did
in our lives where we had to venture into this very scary environment called the outside.
Right.
And you'd have to be in this place
Fresh
called
air.
the outside until this phenomenon, this electrical phenomenon called streetlights.
Right.
You didn't come back home until this electrical phenomenon called streetlights came on.
Right.
And then you'd come
And you
back
ran.
from this outlandish, this roughing it adventure called outside. You'd come back in. And so one Sunday night, when the electrical phenomenon called streetlights came on, I came in from this mystical place called outside, from doing this thing, this activity we call playing with our friends in the outside.
In the flesh.
In the flesh, right? Not virtual, right? Not virtual. We didn't put anything over our eyes and hold these controllers in hair. No. We put actual things in our hands, like a basketball,
Right.
a football, like
A stick.
A stick.
Rocks.
Right. And so after coming from this adventure called outside with the electrical phenomenon of the street lights coming on a late Sunday night, I remembered I had homework.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. That's going to
And
get
my
you.
dad found out I had homework.
Yo, Lord. That's the worst.
I wanted to take the easy way out and be like, well, I'll just do it, in class. I'll get to class 5 minutes early, do it real quick, and turn it in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And so what I was trying to avoid and taking the quote unquote easy way out was avoid sacrificing my sleep, or sacrificing my playtime, right? That's what I was trying to avoid, and so I was looking for a quick resolve. That's what I wanted, right? But because I know I need to do the homework, but I shouldn't have to work hard to get it done. I know I want a good grade, but I shouldn't have to work hard to get it done.
Yeah.
And my dad asked a question. I wish the question was, well, why wouldn't you want to work hard? Why don't you want to work hard? That's not the question he asked.
Right.
He asked a different question that implied the same thing.
Right.
And I don't even know if it was a question, but it seemed like a question. But what he said to me was, I wish you would go to bed.
Right.
Now, to me, it seemed like a question because it felt like he was giving me a choice.
Right.
Easy or hard?
It was not.
Easy or hard? It's like, I dare you to go to bed. Let me see what you're going to do. Let me see what you're going to do. Right? Because for Dad, taking the easy way out meant a lower grade, meant I'd just be average. And in a day and a time where I have to work twice as hard,
Right.
to be looked at as average,
Right.
Dad was like, no, you're not getting ready to take the easy way out,
Yeah,
because
better than that.
the world will see your ethic and give you a below average rating, and they're going to treat you below average. So
Yep.
no,
Yep.
I wish you would go to bed.
Oof,
And
that's good.
here's the thing. That lesson is something I carry with me today. And there are times where I know I need to do something for work, for ministry, but I want to go to bed because I'm tired. The day has been full for me. And I literally will say to myself in my dad's voice, I wish you would go to bed.
Ooh, you teaching me. I need that right now.
I wish you would go to bed.
Ooh, that's good.
Because the bottom line is this: if I take the easy route, go to bed, then I know the quality of what I'm going to produce if I made that
Yes,
choice.
That's so good. Ooh, that's a good one.
But if I'm willing to sacrifice easy to do what's hard but right, I also know the quality of the results when I
Yeah.
do things that way.
That's so good.
And they're just absolutely two different qualities. So I'm gonna kick it to you for just a second. Where does this kind of ethic find its foundation for you? What was your formative foundational moment when it came to ethics?
Yeah, I love it when unpacking the appeal of easy. And I love hearing your perspective, because, we think about it for the sound off segment from the perspective of siblings. And it makes sense to me now, just even processing it, because mine was very different. Like when I think about chores, any kid growing up, you're like, I don't want to do chores. I don't like it. There's so many more fun things, as you so beautifully laid out, that we could be doing when we're children. But I, as the younger sibling, never felt like a forced participant. Of course, we knew we had to do it. Right. Our mom had the rubric and the chart and the thing posted in the kitchen of which days, color coordinated. So who was doing dishes when, who was taking out the trash. So it was just ingrained in our experience. But in terms of feeling forced, I remember not feeling that way because I could look and see everybody, was doing it. Mom had her bit, you had your bit, I had mine. Even though Dad didn't do chores, I understood he was the provider. He took care of the other things that at the time you don't understand till you become an adult. And so I kept thinking, man, where does this foundation for the appeal of easy come when I'm looking at, when I'm looking at my relationship with my sibling or my family. Right. And I started processing it, bro. And I said, let me unpack this thing so I could really see what it is. Because when you're the older sibling, and I think you've pointed this out, but I'd love to hear from other folks because I was the younger, everything you do growing up when you have younger siblings for you is about accountability. It's about responsibility. Absolutely. So there is this kind of, pressure or forced participation because like you already laid out, it's not just that I have to take out the trash. There's a why that it has to be me. That has to do with the hierarchy of the, you in the birth order of the oldest sibling. And I bet many older siblings feel that way. But when I was kind of thinking, okay, well, where does this appeal to easy come from for me as a younger sibling? I was thinking about this notion of, okay, well, we think about easy as, you can achieve something without great effort, right? Or whatever you're going for doesn't present many difficulties, or there are few difficulties, right? Or the circumstance is free from worry or problems. And I'm thinking about my situation with you, and I said, so when I think about easy, Andre did not make my life easier at all. So for me, it wasn't our family or the chores or the rules. It was you, right? It was everything that Andre does, it is with great effort. And we've talked about it in the past podcast episodes where if it was friends stopping by to see me, you slamming the door in their face. If it was who's going to get to use the phone, your first dibs on that. No, our situation presented lots of difficulties with you, right? So you were the problem. You were the worry. And when I thought about it, and I kept trying to figure out, well, why was that? Or why as a younger sibling? And I'm telling you, I bet many younger siblings feel this way. For us, it's not the forced participation. It's that everything is now tracked through the hierarchy of the birth order. And so the level of ease in our life is based on what you do or do not do, right or wrong. I mean, think about it, younger siblings. How many times do you have to go to bed because your older sibling did something and parents got mad at the whole bloodline in trouble now? The whole bloodline in trouble. Right. And it's because of what you did. I'm like, I wasn't watching that. I wasn't saying that. I didn't do that. No, but your brother did it. Go to bed too. Right. And so for me, the appeal of easy was anti-Andre, right? Easy is anti-Dre, right? Easy and growing up for me is, how can I get away from it? I remember thinking when our parents would be gone and Andre was the older sibling, so he had to be responsible for making sure that, we ate. And I would come after like several hours of being patient, say, Andre, I'm hungry.
Right.
And he'd be like, all right, continue playing video games or whatever he's doing.
Right.
So,
I remember that.
So eating means I get to eat when he feels like cooking, right? So there's no ease in that, right? It's easy for him because it's when Andre's hungry, then the whole family is hungry and the whole family can eat, right? I could have a school project like, Andre, will you help me do this? Or have to move a chair or just need to do anything. And it wasn't that I needed it right then for him. It was when he felt like doing it, right? So I think what happens when you're good time. See, when you're the younger sibling, you might leave the home, with a value or more of an appeal toward ease because your upbringing hadn't been easy. Life ain't been no crystal stair.
No crystal stair.
So you choosing partners and friendships that are what? Based on ease, right? If I ask for it, you gonna do it right now? Cool, you work. If I ask you to pay for this, you gonna take care of your half right now? Cool, you work, right? You're not even trying. Your value and your standards have diminished because you've been spending the last, 18 years underneath the shadow of your older sibling siblings who they've clearly
Yeah.
established the ebb and flow of the home. But what I realize in hearing your story is that's because you guys often have, not even often, have the pressure and the responsibility and the accountability. Because the flip side of that, and then I'll kick it back to you before we get to our sponsorship. But, the flip side of that is that responsibility and that pressure also can equal you getting your butt whooped. Like, so if Nikki broke the plate, the parents come home and say, what happened? There's a broken plate. What happened? Now, it could be wholeheartedly Nikki's fault. I dropped it.
Right.
I drop kicked it. I frisbeed that joker. Like, it don't matter what happened. I guarantee you, they going to say, what were you doing, Andre?
Yep.
When she had that plate in her hand. You could be like, she was playing frisbee with it. She decided to actually take a BB gun and shoot it. Everything that she did was wrong. But because you're the elder, the accountability, the responsibility, you're going to get a talking to or probably in trouble as well as me.
Absolutely.
Because of that, too. And so I can understand how that pressure, that forced participation, it does start to assign a value to how we look at ease and what we want for ease. Because now after 18 years, and think about it, everything, when you leave your parents' home, you can't wait to change your circumstances. You can't wait to, what you think is wise, do some things differently. And of course, we learn, as you already laid out, that the hard choice is often the right choice. But we're seeking ease. We're seeking achievements without great effort. We're seeking, presentations of life circumstances with few difficulties. We're seeking life free from worries and problems, which is the definition of easy, especially after you've had some siblings to kind of put you along the way. So I'll kick it back to you. But no, I was ready for anything that didn't look like you.
I love it. See, to me, that's the greater impact of the choice, whether it's giving in to the appeal of ease or whether it's fighting the difficulty of hardship. The impact is always going to be greater than you. And so you cannot see it as an isolative moment. You can't see it as something. You're not an island, right?
Right.
You cannot see it that way.
Nope.
So you definitely got to be able to recognize that, I might make the easy decision, but my easy decision absolutely will impact, because it's kind of what you described. So, if me taking the easy route out, which made your life hard, now you become ready for anything, that don't mean it's the right one. You just ain't like him. So, that's all that matters. You just ain't like him. So you also got to know that there's a legacy in your ethic. And there's a reach to your ethic that, the appeal might be easy, but, easy doesn't reach far. In fact, it reaches the wrong way. It reaches the wrong direction.
Very limiting.
It is very limiting. It can't reach far, and therefore it reaches for what's that term? Low hanging fruit.
Low hanging fruit.
Listen, everybody done touched and been on the low hanging fruit.
Right.
So,
get to that good stuff up top.
Absolutely.
I love that. So. All right. Well, let's shout out our sponsorship for this episode, which is none other than S2 Media Works, a media production company co-founded by my brother and I. And that company is dedicated to creating content that educates, inspires, empowers, and encourages positive influence in living. And we do that through creative and original narratives. Our mission at S2 Media Works is to provide transformational education and resources for healthy and productive living. And we love telling stories, you guys. We're dedicated to creating life-changing and life-giving content in all that we do. And this podcast, the Savage Sibling Podcast, is a lineup in our slate. We've got books coming, we've got docuseries coming, and so we can't wait to continue to share all the work that we're doing and that we're producing behind the scenes. And as always, thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for rocking with us. Glad you're here.
Absolutely.
All right, bro, you ready to get savage?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get savage. So again, the name of this episode is Not Gonna Be Able to Do It.
Nope.
And it's gonna make sense as we get through this. But first, we're talking about the appeal of easy. versus looking at the difficulty that comes with doing things the hard way, not necessarily the wrong way.
Right.
Because oftentimes the hard way is the right way because it just takes more effort.
Yep.
But the question that we have to answer first is, why is easy appealing to begin with? Like, why are we more attracted to doing things easy? And I believe that, there's in the field of psychology, one of the things we learned about was this term called cognitive dissonance. And this is such a profound word. We've heard it a lot lately in the political realm. And basically what it is it's this detachment from reality. And I think a lot of times easy is appealing because it detaches us from our reality. Sometimes I do things the easy way because the reality is I am weak in an area and I don't want to have to make myself strong. I'm afraid of an area and I don't want to have to deal with the fear. And so sometimes what the hard way ends up meaning, or usually means, is that something is being stretched or something's being transformed. And so I go back to that whole taking out the trash. Taking out the trash as a kid is harder than taking out the trash as an adult.
Yes.
And it's not because I'm stronger.
Right.
It's not because I can fight off the raccoons in the trash can. Not that I can fight off the death-defying feat of taking out trash that my dad implanted in me at a young kid. No. Taking out the trash as an adult is easier. Why? Because I don't need somebody coming over my house and saying, you live like a slob.
That part.
I don't want to live like a slob. Like, I don't want to come in and smell sour. Right? I don't want to come in and smell garbage.
That part.
I don't want my life to have this attachment that suggests I don't know how to take care of myself.
Right.
So absolutely I will take out the trash and it ain't even halfway full. All I got to do is throw something in there that I don't want to smell an hour from now. I'll bag that. Matter of fact, if I'm telling the truth,
right?
I will put in a brand new bag.
Yes.
Throw away one item that I know will spoil if I don't take it out, and then search my house to fill the bag with other stuff.
Come on.
And take it out. Now, I ain't doing that as a kid.
No.
As a kid, my mom done threw leftovers in there. It'll sit for a week.
Come
if
on.
the trash don't reach the top of the can, I ain't taking it out.
Nope.
But as an adult, let me put an eggshell in there.
Oh, yeah.
At the bottom. Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I will put the packaging of fish.
Right, come on.
And take it out
bag.
Immediately.
Come on. Extra steps.
Right? So that's so as an adult, what I'm saying is my reality is such that I'm not trying to be a slob.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to know that I have more ethic in life, more value in life than to allow myself to get to a point where I can look and smell and see and be like, oh no.
Right.
That stinks. That's ugly.
Living like that.
That's garbage. So I've got to be able to, as an adult, simply be able to say, no. I've matured. I've grown. Because what I'm saying is, as an adult, it's a lifestyle. It's not a chore anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Ethic is a lifestyle. It's not a task.
Right. Right.
Ethic is a maturity level. It's not a forced participation in the upbringing of this home, right? Like, as a kid, I'm forced, like, because I'm not mature.
Right.
I'm forced because I don't have the ethic. But as an adult, I got to be able to say, no, I'm willing to do the hard stuff because I know what easy gets you.
Yeah.
And I need somebody to hear that.
Yeah.
I know what easy gets you.
Living long enough.
If I visit an adult who finds it hard to take out the trash, I'm going to find it hard to visit that adult again. like that's you want to talk about easy.
You'll find it easy to be busy every time they call.
It's easy. This is easy for you to sit here and smell that. It's easy. Like, it's easy for you to look at that sink with dishes in it. It's easy. It's like, right? No, I don't want no water. No, I don't want no food. Like, I don't know where you're getting that dish from. I remember we have a childhood friend. This is so funny. We have a childhood friend. So basically he's the older brother of your childhood friends.
Okay.
And one time we had to go to Coleman Middle School. Shout out to Wichita.
There we go.
We had to go to Coleman. We were on our way to Coleman Middle School one day. And he said, and I had something for breakfast. I don't know what it was, but I had enough that I could share. And I said, hey, you want some? And he asked the weirdest question I heard in my life, but now I get it today. And he knew this as a teenager.
Right.
He said to me, did you wash dishes this morning?
Come on.
And I was like, no, I didn't wash dishes. He said, were there dishes in your sink this morning?
Come on.
And I was like, yeah, there were. He said, no, I don't want it.
Right.
I didn't understand then. But my thing is now, Doc, if you go to bed, before you go to bed, you wash your dishes. Before you go to bed, you tidy your home. Listen, I'll take a snack from you. But if you don't, that means there's a level of filth that's acceptable.
Some remnants. There's some remnants.
Listen,
and then it got to that breakfast.
Man, listen. There is some transformation that you're not finishing when you show me some ethics, right? Which means there's this conflict in the way that you manage the ethics all over your life. Listen. It sounds petty. It sounds cursory. It sounds surface. But listen,
Jesus,
if I walk in, if you don't make your bed, there's some transformation you're missing.
Right,
if you don't wash your dishes, there's some transformation you're missing. You don't take out that trash, there's some transformation you're missing. If I get in your car and there's trash all in the back seat, that's last time I'm getting in your car.
It's gonna be easy to pass you by.
It's gonna be easy to
say no.
Because when we struggle to do the hard, when we struggle to manage the ethics of life, there's cognitive dissonance that's setting in. You have said to yourself, ethic doesn't mean a whole lot. Ethic doesn't have value to it. And that mental conflict occurs. That mental conflict that occurs, it does it when, watch this, your beliefs don't line up with your actions. Because I don't, because there's a whole lot of people like, no. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Right.
Well, there's no God in your home.
Right.
There's no God in your car. There's no God in your personal space. There's no God in your shower. There's no God at your sink with the toothpaste.
Your toilet.
Right. There's no God in your... Let me see a ring in the toilet. Nah,
it's godless.
I'm out.
Godless.
I'm out. That's right. Unclean. You're right.
Oh, God.
Because, listen, that's that cognitive dissonance. Like, your beliefs have to line up with your actions. And how do they do that? Ethic. And what does ethic tell me? Ethic tells me you don't mind doing the hard thing because it's the right thing. You're not trying to take the easy way out and then kind of dilute your ethic or show me that, again, what you believe and what you do, they're in this internal conflict. In fact, that's why it's an uncomfortable state of mind when someone is taking the easy way out for me.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable because what I'm saying, what I'm seeing is no, you would rather shortcut, you would rather do things, you would rather you really would rather take the easy way out, which doesn't mean it's the right way out.
Right.
Which also tells me you're not utilizing your best self. Now, I don't give my own self my half or worse self.
That's good. Ooh,
that's why I'll go to bed. I won't go to bed, or oftentimes on my way to bed, I'll say to myself, I dare you to go to bed without doing this.
Yeah.
Because so now if I'm giving myself my best self, I'm not finna accept somebody's less than best self. Give me your best. Yeah. Show me what you value in life based on, do you take the easy route or do you mind taking the hard route? Now, when we say easy and hard, when I say hard, I'm not dipping into that saying. What's that saying? Don't work harder, work smarter, work smarter.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's not what I'm saying. Because working hard doesn't mean working dumb.
Right. Come on, teach.
That's not what I'm saying. Working hard doesn't mean working dumb. Now, I'm with you. If you're doing something stupid, you're automatically going to work harder. To me, that's still taking the route where your ethic is in question to me.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
So when we say work harder, we're not saying don't work. We're not going against that saying. Absolutely work smart.
Yeah.
Absolutely work smart. What we're saying is don't take the easy route that questions your ethic, that gives me half of who you are instead of your absolute best self. You see that's see, too many of us get into that space where we're redefining our best internal self. We're rewiring ourselves for the appeal of easy.
That's easy. That's
I
good.
know I should do this, but I'm going to rewire myself to always look for the easy to accept less by doing easy, because
So
it's
good.
easier to take the path of least resistance. Too many of us are doing that.
Yeah, that's so good.
Right? But last time I checked, resistance builds strength. Resistance builds muscle, mental muscle, spiritual muscle, emotional muscle. We're too busy reaching for the low-hanging fruit, and that's an issue within itself. I have found, I'm going to say this and I'll kick it over to you. I found that our brains oftentimes trick us into believing that low-hanging fruit is the ripest, but it's not.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you talk to an agriculturalist, is that how you say it? Yes.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the best fruit is the fruit that's closest to the sun,
Means
it's got to be at the highest elevation, right? Too many of
good.
y'all grabbing for the low-hanging fruit that's got spoiled and them dark spoiled spots in it and stuff like that.
Right.
In fact, low-hanging fruit does not hold an intrinsic value. That's I said something. I need to make sure we hear that. Easy looks appealing like ripe fruit, but once you take a bite, you realize why it's low-hanging.
Yeah. That's so
Once
good.
you take a bite and
Then
you
you're
realize
like, oh.
everything. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait a minute. What in the world
more time.
did I just bite in? And that's what I mean when I say cognitive dissonance. It will always look good because it's easy, and then it becomes uncomfortable because because you've chosen easy and less valuable instead of hard, not meaning like hurtful or anything like that, but instead of hard which has more value, because it strengthens your ethic. It strengthens your ethic in life. And so, but anyway, that's my foundation for why easy seems appealing. So I'll kick it over to you. Well, what is your foundation for why easy seems appealing?
I love it. You laid out the ethical implications there, and I think it's a beautiful foundation. I took the approach of kind of society's impact on us when it comes to the appeal of easy, because we live in a world where everything is so time-centered and task-oriented. And so there's a pacing, right, of the world around us that encourages us to execute, finish, do. And that's ingrained in us at, elementary school. You're hitting targets and you're pushed to it. And which is why what you've laid out in terms of the foundation from an ethical standpoint is so critical, where, our parents, our families really help to shape and guide the way that we look at our commitment to the task in our life. But when you're inundated with this mindset of, graduate early, finish school in a year, shop from home, stay home to look at online church, don't get up and get dressed and go to service, use Amazon instead, wear it this way. They even have tools now for you to be able to braid your hair faster, right?
Yeah.
It's like rather than the blessing of going into, ideally, if you pick a beautiful beautician, that you actually get 2 hours to sit with them and they can minister to you, and it's self-care. Like, we're so inundated with this mindset of what's going to be time-centered, task-oriented, and you already laid it out. Easy for us really is, well, what is the path of least resistance? And we look for that path because we're overwhelmed with all of the things that we've been asked to accomplish. If you don't get a good ethical foundation of, what is the best choice for the things that are important versus urgent. Important versus urgent. Society will push us to urgency. And there are things that are urgent, but that doesn't mean that what's in front of you that's urgent is the most important, right? And so that's important is different from urgency, right? And so what happens is the bill is due right now. Yes, it is due right this very minute, but it's still going to be due tomorrow too. And you can either take that extra shift at your job and try to make sure you get that money, or you can spend time with your kid. I can guarantee you that the important thing is that time investing in your child. Yes, that bill is urgent, but you've been here before. You're going to work it out, or that at some point it's going to work itself out. And I think that's the challenge. We appeal to the easy because we're trying to really reconcile what's urgent versus what's important. And that goes back to what Brobo just said. If you don't have an ethical foundation that tells you where you need to lean in and work hard because that's the better choice versus what is easy, society will press in on you and absolutely, force you to look at this notion of what is the path of least resistance so I can just get it all accomplished. And that's the danger.
Right.
And we start living that at elementary school.
We do.
Your nephew, he's in middle school now, but I finally picked up on what was happening. Every day he comes home from school, I always ask him, how was your day? And I promise you, every day he's like, it was a good day. It was a good day. And I kept going, every day can't be, And what would happen was he would say this, and then maybe an hour later while we're eating dinner, or an hour later we're doing something, then he'd be like, well, this happened, and then she said this, and I was like, what, and I'm thinking, whoa. And I said, well, I'm glad you shared that, Kai. I said, that sounds like that was kind of rough. And he said, yeah. And I said, so it sounds like you didn't have a good day at all. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I said, but son, when you came in 2 hours ago, you said it was a good day.
You came in Ice Cube, brother.
You came in Ice Cube. Today was a good day, right? You left like, who's a rapper that has some angry lyrics? I don't know. You ended on somebody else.
I'm gonna tell you what. You came in Ice Cube. You left NWA.
That's right. Exactly. Perfect. And so I found myself going, But then what he said to me was, he's like, yeah. He said, it's just easier to say it was a good day than process what I'm feeling. And I was like, woo. And I was like, you haven't grown for, like, I have that every day. Like, it's easier to just be like, I'm good. Or it's easier to just eat out rather than cook. It's easier to do all of these things because we're looking for the path of least resistance. But the problem, as you just said, Dre, is that that's never going to lead you where you need to go. Resistance is important, right? And so I think that's the first layer of appeal, especially in the society and the world that we're living in that is very counter to, this notion of difficult choices, and it's already just overwhelmed. When you live in a world that they're telling you to be time-oriented, task-centered, you're going to have to contend with this space of, do I choose, how do I make my choices in terms of how I invest my effort and my value? And then the second piece I want to add, and this is really for the doers out there. Those of us that are doers, we're checklist oriented. It's not for everybody, but those of us that kind of fall under that mindset of I have to do, I want to see my checklist each day get, dwindle down. You end up fighting for your time because, again, you're pushing against the deadline, the due date, and that's frustrating. And when we're so hyper focused on checklist or so hyper focused on execution to get something accomplished, then you miss the larger benefit of the journey. And that's also what my bro just pointed out, which is that, yes, you may not like taking out the trash, but over time, I love the story you talked about as an adult. You think about the state of your home and that you don't want those smells. But there's a moment where I think every person, once they have their first apartment or once they buy their first home or they even have their own office or you own your own building, you take pride in what you own.
You do.
So that lesson and that training that our parents gave us, that responsibility, right, that we were learning, that we were frustrated about, once you have your own, that value of this is my own and I want to take care of it means so much more, right? And you can miss the importance of that journey when you're so focused on just checking off the item on the list. People ask me today, they're like, oh, have you ever been to Houston? Because Houston is a city that's popping. It's been popping, but it's really popping now. And every time they ask me, bro, I say, no, I've never been to Houston. Now, here's the truth. I have been to Houston. But I went to Houston while I was a student at FAMU because we were added to a last-minute performance competition that we weren't expected to be in. And so within a matter of like 3 days, we had to get, airlines, hotels. We had to get our performance together, get our wardrobe. And it was just a circus of chaos to try to not only get us ready, but to get to Houston. And then we were in Houston. We did the performance. The performance was amazing. We had like 2 whole days after that before we had to fly back. And I can't tell you one thing that we did. I can't tell you anything about Houston because we were so inundated with the execution of representing the college well, of representing the program well, of making sure we got all of our gear that had to be rented back to the place. And so I'm sure we went and did some stuff in Houston. I'm sure we traveled, did some things. I was so busy trying to recover, trying to rest, trying to make sure everything was done. And what happens when you're always focused on execution, when you're always focused on just getting it done, and that comes from, again, not honoring what's easy versus what's hard. It's just, I need it off my plate. you miss the journey. You miss the
the journey.
value. You miss the wholeness of the experience because you're so focused on completion, or just your mindset is, I don't want to be dealing with this, so I can't stop and smell the roses. I can't stop and look up and see what's around me. And that's what society pushes on us because we're so future focused that we forget what's actually happening in the present. And so that's another appeal of easy is I just want to get it done. I just want to get it finished, right? I just want it to be over. And that's problematic, which is why if you don't look at it from, what your parents instilled in you in terms of hard, work ethic and working hard and the value that comes with that, even if it does require some elbow grease, even if it isn't the path of least resistance, then there's so much value and worth that you miss. And the last thing I want to say, that I'm going to send it back to you, bro, is what happens when we're execution oriented or completion oriented is we negate the fact that what we're seeking is effectiveness and efficiency, which can be misconstrued as easy. Effectiveness and efficiency does not equal easy. Effective simply means whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be successful in producing that desired intent or result or outcome, right? That's how I'm effective, right? So like if I want Malachi to drink more water, as his mom, I have found it is not effective to just simply ask him to drink more water.
Right.
It is not going to work. Now, I know my son is competitive. So what I do is I create an entire competition in the household. I make sure we all have our water jugs, and I say the first person that finishes this wins for the day, and they get bragging rights or whatever the case. That becomes effective because he's 12. He don't want to drink water naturally. He wants soda. He wants everything else. But now what he wants more than soda is to be able to brag on his nana and his mom that he smoked us that day.
He finished. Yep,
right? And so that's effective. Does it make it easy? No, because that means I'm buying each of us our own gallon jug of water with a time thing on it to know by noon you got to be down to here. Is it easy? No, because that means in order to make it competitive, I actually have to work, right? To make sure that he can see that I'm drinking the same amount of water that I'm requiring him to drink. But at the end of the day, if he got a gallon of water and it was effective, definitely not easy, but it was effective. So you're seeking that effectiveness. The other thing you're seeking is efficiency. And efficiency is not necessarily easy. That's trying to achieve the maximum productivity with a minimal of wasted effort or expense or time, right? So I don't want to waste anything. So some of us foolishly think that we're choosing the path of least resistance or what's easy, and you don't even realize you done wasted your effort. You done wasted your expense. You done wasted your time, right? Absolutely. All these things are in play. So that doesn't make it easy. Going for efficiency is a very good thing, which, as Bro said, in terms of what you value and work ethic, efficiency is a quality value to have. It means that I'm going to make sure it actually will make your life easier. It will make your life easier in the long run when you are actively working hard at being efficient. But that doesn't take the elbow grease away. And so I thought about our mom. So, our mom, she's Nana to Malachi. We like to play video games with him on PlayStation 5. There's this game, you guys, called Overcooked. I love Overcooked. It's a PlayStation. Actually, it may not just be a PlayStation 5 game, but it's on PS5. It's a cooperation game where everybody who plays has to work together. And the whole idea is each character is working together to finish a meal within a certain amount of time and get it served up. Well, so, Malachi and I have advantage because we grew up playing video games, right? Right. Nana doesn't have that advantage. She grew up with arcades, if that, right? She didn't have anything at home in her house that was video games. So she's taken, one for the team by jumping in and learning how to play what probably looks like a Learjet controller to her, right? Right. She's sitting down and going, okay, there's like 20 buttons. And so she plays. So in this game, you have characters that have to chop the vegetables and the food. Characters have to cook it. Those have to serve it. So everybody has their role and you have to work together in a cooperative manner to execute, and get it finished. So Nana just mastered chopping. She just mastered chopping. Like she knows how to get the vegetable and chop it on the cutting board and then set it aside, right? We've been playing for a little while. Well, so Malachi started getting frustrated because we're getting to the more advanced levels. And he's like, Nana, why can't you come over here and cook? And she's like, grandson, in order for me to be efficient and for this game to go well, I'm going to stick to chopping. I know how to chop. I can chop good.
I know how to chop.
I can chop meat. I can chop onions. I can chop mushrooms. I can chop tomatoes. Give me anything, I'll chop it. But you asking me to go over here on this other side and start cooking, I ain't ready for that.
That's a whole other set of buttons I ain't learned yet.
And so he was like, man, it would be, I said, son, we are not going to win. Your energy is to win if we're not efficient. Nana's efficiency, where there will be no wasted effort or time or expense. Let her chop. But you got to chop. That's just it. And so she stays in her lane. And that's really the key when we're thinking about the appeal of easy. Real talk, it's not, easy is not just making it less work. What you're really after is effectiveness and efficiency. And here's the real truth of that. That still takes work to figure it out in every scenario in your life. And so you're not going to get away from it. You need to put in the strategy of how can I be efficient? How can I be effective? And that's going to lead to the better outcome, which then ideally will make your life easier down the line. Because otherwise you're going and cleaning up where you lacked efficiency and where you lacked effectiveness. And it's just the two don't exist and don't work together. Those are just 2 points I want to add, but that's a perfect segue into the transformational perspective, because we always want to present the counterpoint to whatever our topic is for the episode. And so here's the thing. The question is, bro, who doesn't like easy? Come on now. Yeah. Working smarter, not harder. Like, what y'all talk about?
Right. So going back to that, because we kind of delved into it a little bit, but there's an additional thought that I have when it comes to those, who, like you said, people who just know I love easy. Easy works for me.
Right.
I'm not finna work
easy peasy.
and the thing about it is, there's a way that you can work that shows your intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people who don't like easy, I'm going to say, aren't necessarily showing your intelligence.
Right.
Okay, you're really not showing your intelligence just because you took the easy way out. I know some folk that are doing a bid in jail, taking the easy way out. Now, was that intelligent? Was it intelligent? Right? So no. Who doesn't like easy? People that don't want to think. People that don't want to use their brain. Right? Think about it this way. There's a thought that, okay, let's say there are people on my job, and they're always taking the easy way out. Right? But we're all connected, right? So their easy makes my job what? Harder, more difficult.
Yep.
Right? They'll tell you, no, I've got this. What's that hot button word going around the workplace? Oh, I got preference diversity. I'd like to do it this way. It brings diversity to the work. That's preference diversity. And I'm saying, no, you just prefer to be lazy. That's what you prefer to be, right? and see, right. So the reason why it's diverse is because the reason why we want to use these terms, preference diversity, is because we're connected. So that doesn't mean that my hard is your hard.
Right.
That's the problem where people who get it wrong, who take the easy way out, they're looking at my hard and saying, oh God, I can't do that. But wait a minute. My heart is my heart. Your heart's got to be yours, and your heart what you think is hard for me is me operating in where I'm gifted, operating in my talent, operating in my intelligence. And the reason why it looks hard is because you might not be talented where I'm talented. You might not be intellectually sound where I'm intellectually sound, but it works both ways. I'm not talented where you're talented, so it looks hard to me. But for you, it's like it might look hard, but it's not. I'm in the zone. I'm just doing my thing. This is how I'm gifted, right? So what? That's why I say easy is it's what you're looking. It's your thought. You think it's easy. It's a thought. I'm gifted. It's your gifted. That's the reason why things look the way they look, but they're not necessarily that way. So I've got to be able to understand that taking the easy way out doesn't mean I'm intelligent. In fact, it's probably the exact opposite. It's probably the exact opposite. There are too many people walking around here with preference diversity.
Right.
It's easy. It's all based on what I see and not what I'll become. That's a problem. You're taking the easy way out because of what you see, but you're going to miss out on what you become. Yes, it's easy. But watch this. If I could take a step further with this preference diversity thing,
right.
Preference diversity can be based on attraction.
Yes,
it also can be based on aversions of both, right? But never making a decision on who you will become.
Right.
taking the easy way out. I like who I am. I don't have a need to grow anymore. Well, when does growth stop?
Never.
When
Until
no,
you die.
for real.
When you die.
When does growth stop? That's exactly right. Growth stops when you're ready
no
to be
longer on this
stunted.
earth. Yeah.
That's when that's when it
good.
stops.
That's
It stops
good.
when you're ready to be stunted because life keeps going, which means growth will always be required. Will always be required. And so that's people who just like it easy. You're basically saying I'm done growing. I'm stunted. I'm good. My arrested development.
Arrested development. There we go.
Right? Right? Bottom line is hard work promotes growth. Hard work promotes growth. Right?
And we want to grow. So with that, we will jump into the quick shot.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about the benefits of doing it hard and the appeal of easy. And I've had to learn that when it comes to, I've realized starting out in life, I used to, if something was hard, I might say I'm not going to be able to do it. But I had to learn that when something is easy now, I'm learning to say I'm not going to be able to do that because there's a true value in doing the hard work. There's a true benefit in doing the hard work because it's the right work. It's the right ethic to have. It's the right lifestyle ethic to have. Reminds me of a quote. It reminds me of something Nelson Mandela said, and I'm going to quote him here. Said, "There is no passion to be found in playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." The reason why I brought that up, learning how to get out of your comfort zone, get out of that easy mindset space, leads you to a life that you're capable of living because you're finding out what motivates you and you're challenging yourself to be better than who you were in your laziness. And as you challenge yourself, you find that what was an easy route turned into a harder existence. But when you started taking the harder but right route, and we've been saying it all along, you're actually creating an easier existence. And so you got to be willing to stop finding moments to play small. Stop settling for those moments to play small and step up to the big moments and go hard. Absolutely go hard.
Good. I love it. All right. So for the quick shot for me, I'm going to kind of play on this notion of curb appeal versus fixer-upper. The mindset of on one end, it's like, it looks pretty cool, but that's the easy route versus fixer-upper, or path of least resistance versus road less traveled, right?
Okay.
Like these two spaces. So I think I'll have you say, we'll use the title of our episode, that I'm going to give you a scenario and you can either decide, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. Or you can say, yeah, that works for me.
Okay.
All right. Here's the first one. An attractive woman asks you out on a date, and then you find out she knows your ex-wife.
Not going to be able to do it. Not going to be able to do it.
She's attractive. She dime piece. She fine.
If she knows Katina, she knows just how hard it is to be in a relationship with me. I don't think she's ready for it. Not going to be able to do it. You ain't finna hurt my feelings. Nope.
Oh, I should have said attractive, wealthy. I should have put everything in there.
It don't matter.
Be like, not gonna be able to do it.
As soon as you say, and she knows Katina, then she knows how hard it's about to be. Not going to be able to do it.
All right, here's another one. You have an amazing opportunity to launch your own business, but one of your potential investors has a recent bankruptcy. Look at you.
Because, there's some folk.
Right.
That know how to use bankruptcy to their advantage.
To their advantage. Our former president is one. One of our former presidents. Sorry. One of ours. Yeah. There's maybe many that have done it. I don't know.
Right. So, it depends. Ooh.
That works for you?
That might work for me. Depends on how smart the bankrupted investor is. Depends on how intelligent.
Yeah,
if the bankrupted investor is intelligent, I can work with that. If they've
used the laws to their advantage,
not gonna be able to do it.
All right, here's another one. Your friend has graciously agreed to help you jumpstart your workout plan, and he invites you to run with him every morning. You show up and you find out he runs 5 miles every day.
Not going to be able to do it. Not going to be able to do it. Not going to be able to do it. No. Because he and I
not committed.
have different, he and I got different goals. He and I got different goals. Okay? We got different goals. His goals obviously require him to run 5 miles a day. My goals require me to run. My goals require me to jog. My goals require me to walk briskly for 15 minutes a day. Okay? Okay. Okay. Not going to be able to do it.
Oh, my God. This is so funny. This next one is actually based on a real family member in our household, but I'll just put it out there. Your sibling has asked you to borrow your brand new carpet shampooer, and you know that she just started a dog care business.
No, not gonna be able to do it. No.
That's one of our cousins in Ohio, by the way. I just want to
not gonna be able to do it. You ain't finna ruin my bissel. No. No. I bought the carpet shampooer specific to the way my carpets need to be shampooed.
Works, right. The way my carpets are set up.
Right. The way your doggy daycare set up. Right. You don't need to buy a shampooer. You need to sign a contract with a shampooing company that comes out weekly. That's what you need. You ain't finna tear up my bissel. No. No.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's do 2 more real quick here. Your mother asked you to drive her to church service that day. You agree, and then she casually mentions she has a few errands to run before service starts.
Okay. Now, let me say this. Let me say this. I'm gonna do it,
right?
Because I don't want to face the Lord on Judgment Day for not taking my mama to church.
That's a hard work ethic.
But what I'm gonna say is you got gas money?
Oh no!
Because if you ain't got no gas money, you ain't going nowhere but church and home. That's it. You got gas money for all these errands? Right. We going home. And if you got gas money, I'll be like, did you tithe unto the Lord?
Unto the Lord.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, well, let's go ahead and go to church and see how the church service goes.
Right.
See how that goes first, and then we'll see how the day transpires. All right, your daughter was accepted to a prestigious school with a full ride scholarship. We'll say it's like a high school or private school or something. And in order to accept the scholarship, you as a parent must agree to volunteer for 25 hours per month.
Oh, man. Oh, that's tough.
That's a tough one.
Oh, because that's 5 hours.
Right. Look at you doing it. Look at him doing the math, y'all.
Oh, man.
That's a lot. But you get that full ride, though. That full ride to this prestigious private school.
Listen, I'm going to do it, but I ain't going to like it.
You ain't going to like it.
Yeah, I ain't going to like it. And I'm going to rise to the level of volunteerism where I'm more of a delegator.
Oh, there you go.
A delegator. That way then, my 5 hours, I could do virtually. I done already.
You gonna create some systems.
I'm gonna get one of them green screens where I'll be at the sports bar on Zoom, making sure everybody, but the green screen, so it shows like I'm in a home office while I'm at a sports bar.
You're at the sports bar watching the game. You gonna figure out a way to make snacks equate to 5 hours, right? I drop off snacks, and that's my 5 hours for the week.
Woo-wee,
I love it.
I ain't finna pay no tuition. No.
I love it. All right, bro. Anything for the final blow?
Absolutely. So again, we're looking at ethic, right? So many times when we're looking at a situation where we have to do something and we choose to say, I'm not going to be able to do it. Yeah. It's because of how we see ourselves in the moment, how we see ourselves being able to do it, or being able or feeling like the value or the loss of comfort is greater than the return. So we're looking at ourselves, what we're going to get, what we got to do to get it done. And ultimately, when we're looking at ourselves, what we ought to be looking at is just how great we are and how doing things can build our greatness. Not for bragging rights, right? Just to simply be able to keep growing in life. And there can never be a situation where we look at it and say, I can't do it. I can't do it, and give in to the easy route or the lazy or the procrastination. Not when, again, I'm me being a man of faith, not when my Bible tells me that I can do all things through Christ, which gives me strength. Because ultimately, growth is about getting stronger in everything. Anytime we have that moment, there are two routes. We could take the easy route. The easy route, though, says that there's nothing required of you. And because there's nothing required of you, there's nothing that will reward you. Or I can take the harder route, the intelligent route, the right route. Because hard is relative. Because it's relational to you. What looks hard to you may be right where you're gifted at doing. So if I stay in my giftedness, stay in the passion, stay in my calling, stay in my person, then again, what looks hard actually becomes growth. I don't go to the gym, lift light weights, and expect to grow stronger. I have to lift the heavy weights. But what I feel the next day is actually growth. And ultimately, what was heavy today becomes light tomorrow. And that's what we got to look at when we're saying, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the dude that always takes the easy way out? Then you're the guy that's stunted, arrested in your development, doesn't grow. Or do you want to be the one that's challenged by the hard things because you know growth is coming? You know better is coming. You know an easier life is coming when I put in the hard work now. So for me, that's kind of that final blow. Who do you want to be? That's going to let me know if you're going to be on the couch or if you're going to build character. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be?
That is so good. Thank you for the final blow. So we've come to the end of the episode. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Please help us build the Savage Siblings community. We need you guys to like, to share, to comment, to leave a review, give us a rating, subscribe, and most importantly, send this to your favorite Savage siblings. Perhaps you have an example of easy work and you think everybody should adopt this easy work. Well, let us know about that. Or maybe you have your own example of, I'm not going to be able to do it. We want to hear that as well. Share all of those stories with us. Huge shout out to the team that helps us flow and grow each episode. Dwayne McClendon and Kyle Davis, our sound editors. Ronnie Maxwell of Maxwell Music, our music producer. Keith Cross of K Cross Photography for all the amazing photos. We love you guys. We thank you. And of course, our parents, thank you for your DNA and thank you for the funny life lessons. We wouldn't be here without you. And last but certainly not least, our listeners, we're so glad that you're rocking with us each and every episode. So we will see you next time. And remember, don't go through life alone. Take care.
Bye, y'all.